The Miracle Morning Routine will help you be more successful, be more productive throughout your day, and improve your work life, supposedly. This method of self-improvement was created by Hal Elrod, who wrote an entire book about the Miracle Morning Routine. I have heard about it before, and I was like, you know what? This is something I need to try. I love mornings. I love morning routines. I'm looking for any way to spice up my morning to make me more energized. I love a slow morning, but I've been trying to move more in the morning, and that's hard for me. I'm not gonna lie, that is hard for me. So I decided, let's do it for a week and see if it's life-changing, see what it does for me, see what the hype's about. So we started with today. Monday, January 9th was my first morning of doing the Miracle Morning Routine. The SparkNotes version of what this consists of is, starting with the night before, you should move your alarm clock, your phone, however you wake up in the morning, across the room so that when it goes off, you have to physically get out of bed to turn it off. Do not hit snooze, just get up. Getting out of bed, putting your feet on the floor is supposed to help you avoid that snooze button, and that is step one. Once you complete that, you're supposed to head over to the bathroom where you brush your teeth. It's kind of like, you know, feeling refreshed and accomplishing one thing right when you wake up, even if it's as simple as brushing your teeth. I know this is why a lot of people make their bed in the morning, because it's kind of like accomplishing the bare minimum right away. Following that, it's so good to splash water on your face. Of course, I'll do my entire skincare routine, which obviously includes splashing water on my face. So that obviously, like, cold water directly on your face wakes you up whether you're doing skincare or not. Following, it's so important to drink water in the mornings. One entire glass is so beneficial. If you think about it, like, you just went so many hours while you were asleep without drinking water. You know, if you just slept for 8 hours, hopefully you wouldn't go the whole day of 8 hours without drinking water. So you just went all that time without drinking. You should really hydrate yourself. You definitely get dehydrated while you're sleeping. It just makes sense. After those few things, we go into what he calls the SAVERS. It is an acronym. SAVERS, S stands for silence. Whether you just sit for a few minutes in silence or you do a meditation, breathing, whatever it is, for just 5 minutes even. Moving on to affirmations. It's so important to write out your affirmations. Spend a few minutes thinking about your intentions for the day. Your affirmations, write them out. Into the V, visualization. I feel like I've heard this so much when I'm ever like looking into like, what do successful people in the morning? Like, I don't know. I feel like I always hear visualization. Like, literally sit with your eyes closed and picture what you want, who you want to be, what your day consists of. Like, just visualize. Visualize your dreams. Visualize whatever you're working on. Visualize what you are making come true. S-A-V into E, you probably guessed it, it is exercise. Morning movement is so important, whether it's a walk, whether it's stretching, whatever you can do. And in my case, this is taking my dog for a walk. The amount of time I spend out does vary, but morning movement, morning exercise, figure out what works for you and do it. The R, you probably could also guess this one stands for reading. Just a simple 10 pages a day. You can do more, of course, but 10 pages a day is perfect. Spend a few minutes to yourself, just read. Don't think about anything else but your book. Lastly, the S is for scribing. He says write anything, whether it's a dream journal, whether it's your goals, your plans for the day, whatever you're thinking about, just write. For a few minutes, just write whatever's coming to your mind, kind of like a morning brain dump, or really whatever you want it to be. Free write. You can really do each of these activities for as long as you want, but it does say try not to exceed 1 hour total. So this morning routine really should not take you forever. For me, the biggest variable is how long I want to be taking my dog on a walk, which does change from day to day, honestly, depending on what time I wake up and the weather. So that was my first day. We're gonna do this for the rest of the work week, and I will come back and let you know my thoughts. Is it life-changing? Is it worth the hype? What do I think about it? What are the struggles, the pros, the cons? Let's see. I'm excited. I love this stuff. I'm such a self-improvement queen here. We're always a work in progress. See you in a few days.
I used to play it kinda cool, now I don't know what to do when you with other guys. Ooh, it's only
miracle morning routine life-changing? Well, I kept a notepad in my phone and documented my feelings and stuff throughout the week. And I will tell you, overall, I'm not gonna lie, I felt more productive. I had some really good days where I just got like so much done, like good, efficient, quality work all day long. And I was just like, running on a high. Not really, but like I was going all day, like in a good way. I felt good, whatever. In my head, I'm like, okay, was it the miracle morning routine? Do all these things like really help you set up for success? Or was it kind of a placebo effect? Because obviously I knew that was what was supposed to happen going into this. So like, did it just give me like a subconscious fire? And that's why it kept me going? I don't know, but I did actually really enjoy it. That being said, I'm gonna go through some of the cons actually, and then end off with more of the pros. For me personally, it was hard to do these tasks consecutively because I do have a puppy. I think I would just need to rearrange the order so that the exercise portion comes earlier. Specifically for me, I think I would like to brush my teeth, wash my face, drink the water, do the meditation, and then exercise right away. And then for the rest of the sedentary activities, my dog would be tired out and then I could get through those consecutively, because I feel like when you're interrupted, you don't put as much quality into the activities. And if you're doing things with like a half mindset, it's not worth it, and I don't think you would get anything out of it. That being said, I don't think there's like a rule that you must do these all in order. So for me, I think I would just have to rearrange the order to fit me personally and fit my morning better. Nothing wrong with that. Another con, I do live in the Midwest, and so a lot of times I'd wake up in the morning, it would be cold. So if I would start the routine, by the time I would get to that exercise and take my dog for a walk, there was not 1 ounce of me that wanted to leave the house. Like I was warm, I woke up, I was just like adjusting to the day. I did not want to go out in the cold. Like there's not, no, like that was actually so difficult and so hard. Once I did get out there for a walk, I felt better. Like I'm not kidding you, that morning movement makes such a difference in my day. And when I actually like was midway through the walk, my body was warming up, like I felt good. But it was so hard to get myself to go out on that walk. And because of that, I was justifying it by sleeping in later so that the exercise happened later in the day when it warmed up a few degrees, which I want to keep waking up early. So that was kind of a con on my part, which is something I can probably adjust or just like man up to, but that was something I struggled with. Those were the big cons for me. I know that wasn't a ton, which is great, but going into more the pro side, I love that all of these tasks can apply to anyone. There's no emphasis on waking up at a certain time or anything like that. Like if you start your day later in the day, that's fine. It's still just a set of things to do when you wake up to set yourself up for success. So I love that these things can apply to anyone. And the morning exercise, like it doesn't have to be outside. If you really can't get outside, if it's raining, if it's whatever, you can alter these to fit your schedule. So I love that it's so universal. I've also been thinking about trying to drink coffee later in the day, and this helps me so much because I wouldn't make coffee or drink my greens until after the walk. So it's like I woke up, did some tasks, seated, sedentary, like tasks, whatever, then exercised, and it honestly felt so good having woken up, having hydrated myself, going to exercise, then coming back, having a green juice and having coffee. I felt like having coffee a little bit later in the day actually kept me energized and was so much better for me. But if I have no reason to push it off, like I'm gonna drink it when I wake up. Like if I don't have a routine that requires me to, you know, make the coffee when I get back from my walk or whatever, like I'm gonna have it. Like there's nothing else stopping me. So the fact that this routine I followed kind of made me drink it later in the day was so good for me, and I just felt like my body felt so much better throughout the morning. And then drinking the coffee, and then into the afternoon I had way less crash, because sometimes I do get an afternoon crash, but I had way less crash, and I love that. I'm so weak when it comes to like making that morning coffee right away in the morning, so like that was good for me. I really did feel so good throughout the week. Like this, I don't know, this was such a feel good type of thing that I just kept writing in my notepad like, I feel so good, I feel great, like this is great. I actually like just really truly enjoyed it every single day. And okay, I thought going into this, I already do a lot of these things in the morning, but no, that's like not even true. As much as I thought that I already did some of these things, like this was just a game changer because there was a set of things I had to do, like one followed the next, followed the next, followed the next, and I felt like knowing that I had to complete these tasks kept me on track. And even if I, you know, already maybe wrote affirmations, like, I don't know, just this setup and each component really worked off of each other and just put you in such a good mindset and just a world of your own. I also really thought through the list and thought, okay, Morgan, is there any component that you think doesn't really matter that you can minimize from the savers, right? Like, is there anything that's not as important? I was like, okay, maybe the visualization, do I really need to do that? Or like the free write, like, is that necessary? No, I think every component is necessary. I really do. I was talking through this last night and I was just thinking, like, what didn't serve me? And I truly think everything did. I also loved that some of these things kind of aligned with the book I'm reading right now, Atomic Habits, as I've talked about a million times already. But for example, when I got to the visualization part, I'm like, okay, I've never practiced this before. Yes, I've tried meditation, I've tried writing out affirmations, but I've never tried to just sit there and visualize. And a huge part of Atomic Habits is don't focus on what you want to achieve, focus on who you want to become. Who is it that you want to be? What does their day look like? How do they act? What do they eat? What does their morning consist of? What do they care about? What's on their priority list, right? And so when I was visualizing, when I got to that V in the savers, I was visualizing, that's exactly what I pictured. I pictured, okay, I think about this when I'm reading Atomic Habits. Now I'm just gonna apply it in the morning, right? Like, I know who I want to be. What does she look like? How does she act? What does she wear? And so every morning when I got to that, I literally spent 5 minutes. You don't need to spend all morning visualizing or whatever, but just picturing myself in these specific scenarios, what everything looks like, and just where I want to be, right? And I don't know, it just like puts you in a mindset. And I feel like I hear, you know, successful people, millionaires, whatever, like whenever you look up, like, what do they do in the morning, whatever, like visualization is a huge part. And I think I mentioned this earlier in the video. I don't know, I've probably watched like TED Talks or whatever saying this, and it's never something I practiced. It was probably the newest part of this morning, and I just really thought it was cool. It's kind of like you're just daydreaming for a moment, but I mean, have you heard before, like, your mind doesn't know the reality from like a scenario you're making up in your head. So if you visualize enough, like your brain kind of believes it's true, and then you're just gonna kind of start acting like it's true. It's like a fake it till you make it, right? You just think about who you want to be and you start practicing those habits until you are them, you know? And I've talked about this before, and it's just, I don't know, it's kind of cool. I also do think it's so important to not just like wake up and jump into your work right away. Like, I think it's so good to ground yourself. And I love that this helps me take time for myself. I don't roll out of bed and just start editing, start emails, start whatever. Like, it actually makes me think to myself, about myself, whatever. And it just puts you in a good mood. Maybe it helps you make better decisions throughout the day. I don't know, I actually do really enjoy this. And whether I am strict about doing this every single morning or I just take key components and make sure to practice these, I think trying this morning routine is very beneficial for anyone. Brushing my teeth right away instead of after I eat breakfast wakes me up, makes me feel refreshed. Love washing my face right in the morning, freshens you up. Hydrating yourself, so important. You're so dehydrated when you wake up, whether you feel like it or not. And then the meditation. I just felt like it was so calming right away. Giving myself time to wake up, just to think, just to breathe, like chill. So good. Affirmations, set your intentions. Visualizing. Who do you want to be? What do they do? What do they look like? How do they act? Picture everything. Exercise. Go for a walk. You already know I'm a huge walker. It makes my brain flourish with creativity and thoughts, and I just love it. And it makes my body feel so good in the morning. Reading. I love starting my day with Atomic Habits. It's so good. If you haven't tried it, I really recommend this book. And I'm like, I don't know, probably not even halfway. And free writing. Whether you're planning out your to-do list, whether you're ranking your priority list, something I think I want to try maybe is time batching with my day. I've never tried that before, but that would be such a good thing to free write in the morning, whether you just have a lot in your mind. Like, I'm a big brain dump person, but I usually do that at night. But just using a few minutes to jot down whatever you're thinking about or whatever you need to make sure you accomplish throughout the day. Like, I don't know. Hal Elrod was really onto something with this, and I didn't read the entire book that he wrote about it, but these are the steps that it includes, and I really encourage you to try it out because I do have really positive feelings about this. I do want to rearrange it to make it work best for me, but I would recommend anyone to just try it for even a week and just see how you feel. Again, I literally had such a good week. I was so productive. I was in a good mood. It kept me on track. It probably helped me stay on schedule with 75 hard too, just like setting my day up, getting the reading done right away in the morning. Like, it was just great, and I really recommend you try it. This was fun. I've heard it before. I really wanted to give it a try. Those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I love to do things like this. Like I mentioned, I'm just a little self-improvement queen. I just love to do things that make me feel good, and I want to help make you feel good. That's like my mission, right? I'm a hype woman. I want you to feel good. I want to share tips with you that like just make your day-to-day better, because like you should be enjoying your day-to-day life. Why wouldn't you? You know? I love you so much. Please subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you in my next one.